Hello and welcome to our Tarot 101 series. I'm V and I've been reading tarot for the last 7 years. Tarot is such a beautiful form of divination that's really helped me deepen my own spiritual practice along the way over the years. So I just wanted to do a little series, kind of giving you guys the basics. This is the second video in our series. So if you want to know the difference between Oracle and Tarot, the different styles of tarot decks, and just kind of like those basics, make sure to go check out that video. Today, we are going to be covering the minor arcana and how to read the minor arcana. So in our last video, we talked about how the major arcana tends to be more big picture lessons and the minor arcana is supposed to be that zoomed in, more in front of your face lessons. But there's a lot of different ways you can learn how to read the major arcana. I think the easiest way when you're first starting out is to understand the suits and what each of the 4 suits really embodies, then to understand the numerology and the court cards. Getting into the suits is what we're going to break down first. So each suit is correspondent with an element and different aspects of each of those elements. So starting with pentacles or coins, sometimes different decks are going to refer to each suit a little differently, and even sometimes the court cards will be referred to something differently. I will try to make note of what those are when we approach them as we go along. So with that being said, pentacles or coins is the earth suit, the suit of your material life. Typically, the practical approach, I think earth energy, very grounded, what is going to be the most secure and stable route. Pentacles can also be talking about your home, your family life. Pentacles are big fans of common sense, fact-checking, using practical and pragmatic approaches to whatever problem you're asking about or situation. Pentacles and coins are always looking for the practical, responsible, virtuous, like more response to any situation. Shadows of Pentacles can be being reluctant to consider new approaches, maybe you're valuing possessions over people, and that patience and persistence being the main virtue can be to detriment. So those are things to consider, especially if they're coming in reversed or upside down. You might be showing the shadows of the energy of whatever card you've pulled. If you're an astrology human, for Pentacles, you're looking at the energies of Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. You're looking at cups. Cups are water, so you're going to be looking at Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. If you're looking at swords, swords are air energy, so you're looking at Gemini, you're looking at Libra, you're looking at Aquarius. If you're looking at wands, you're looking at fire, so Leo and Aries and Sagittarius are the energies of the wand suit. Cups and chalices, we have water elements. This is going to be very emotional, very passionate, very loving suit. This still pertains to matters concerning the environment and nature. Cups can represent a love, whether yet to be discovered, or maybe it's familial love or friendships. This can also relate to harmony, fertility, psychic abilities, alternative ways of medicine and healing, and reconciliation. A huge shadow of cups is following too much with your heart and not enough with logic. Finding fulfillment through other people and not yourself. The virtues of cups are empathy and sympathy, so too much of this is going to potentially cause codependency and being over sentimental to a fault. Moving on to the suit of wands. This is the fire suit, inspiration and creativity. This is a suit that goes against the grain. It's very strong on independence and originality. Just think of, again, if you're an astrology human, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius all live by the beat of their own drum. It just looks very different for each. The same goes for the wands or the fire suit in tarot. The wands usually speak of creative and artistic endeavors or pursuits. Wands are always going to be encouraging you to focus on your own needs, your own dreams, your own passion. They promise personal joy. Wands also tend to give me quick speed, so think time to take action is now, whereas earth and water are a little slower, a little little more grounded, and even the water is more fluid in the way they choose to change. Wands is like, it's fire, it's ignited, it's launching, it's going. If you're asking something that is time related, wands probably means it's happening sooner rather than later. The virtues of fire is abundance and generosity. So the shadows to fire tends to be fickleness. Fire cards tend to give up when the first obstacle shows itself. They can become bored easily because, again, this energy is very like launched towards it, but if you launch too fast, you might eat up all your fuel, all your energy, and just like crash out. Also, fire has very little patience for human fragility. I personally have a lot of fire that comes through in my readings, and I am someone who also has such a hard time with the human experience to my human experience. One of my favorite quotes is, "I am a divine being having a human experience," and there are a lot of days where I feel I am a divine being and I'm not feeling the human experience. So that's just my own little personal take. And then finally, as far as the 4 suits goes, we have the suit of swords, which is the suit of air. This suit focuses more on your mind and your communication. This suit gives focus, logic, and rational thought. Swords want you to use your voice with clear communication. We want to avoid speculation. And all matters regarding scientific endeavors and technology are going to be found in this suit. So a little nerdy, you have Aquarius here, you have Gemini here, you have Libra here. Again, for our astrology peeps that understand the energies of these zodiacs, are going to be found in the energies of this card. Swords are always going to want you to use your mind over your heart to make a decision. So if you're inquiring about a problem or a situation and Swords is coming out, it's telling you to listen to your mind. Just like if you pulled Cups for the same situation, it's going to be telling you to use your heart, etc., etc. The virtues of Swords is learning and concentration. So with that being said, these shadows, so if you're pulling these cards in reverse, it's probably going to be pointing towards energies that revolve around maybe being too harsh or critical about a given situation. Maybe your mind's need for all the knowledge is holding you back from launching yourself to the next thing because of internal mental fears or blockages that are happening and keeping you from taking action and taking that next step. Moving on to the numerology of the minor arcana, starting with aces. Aces are the innovator and the initiator. They are the new beginnings card outside of the Fool. So aces are kind of just the kickstart to any journey. These cards are giving you a message of either new people coming into your life, maybe a new opportunity, having good luck, or restored energies falling into your sphere of being. If an ace lands in your tarot reading, it often can at least be seen as an optimistic card because, again, it's bringing something to you. Something is going to arrive or has arrived for you. When you pay attention to the suit of the ace that has appeared in your reading, it helps you connect to like the vibe or like the mood of what energy you need to embody on this journey ahead or to solve the problem. Whatever you're asking about is the key is going to be within the element or suit of the ace. When you pull a 2 in your tarot deck, you're pulling out a card that is talking about balance. It's representing the integration of 2 aspects of your life. Maybe it's the integration of 2 people. It is giving you clues on how to find the highest form of harmony within those 2 paths or peoples or just energies in general. This can relate to business, partnerships, or emotions as well. If you pull a 3 of cups, swords, pentacles, or wands, you're pulling a card of joy or opportunity. 3s are giving you clues into how to build or maybe even rebuild based on previous decisions or situations that have been presented in your life. If you pull a 4, 4s are kind of a caution card. A really easy way to remember this is 4s in Chinese culture, the number 4 is considered bad luck or unlucky. So for me, when I think of the number 4, I think of like the bad luck, and with bad luck, I would think proceed with caution. the fates are not on your side type vibes, right? And that's not to be like fear-mongering, it's just like a easy way to remember the numerology. So fours are asking you to explore the different avenues before you take the risk. Like, what is an alternative route you could take? What is the risk of holding on to and not changing whatever situation is in front of you? And I tend to see fours come up when people are questioning bigger aspects of their life and if that is worth the security that something brings. The number 5 in your tarot deck are going to be more like success cards. The 5s are asking you to communicate. They want you to have a very fast and successful resolution to whatever you're asking about. And they're telling you to acquire new resources or educate yourself further, making sure that you have the knowledge you need to proceed on your path. 6s are harmony and balance cards. 2s and 6s have that balance aspect, that harmony aspect. 6s are telling you to look at within and find the different ways you can find balance and harmony within yourself. And when you do that, it is a promise of a better life, a more peaceful resolution to whatever you're asking about. A shadow side of 6s is that they can show up when you're regretting choices you made in the past. 6s can also come up in a shadowy side when you're either fixated on choices you made in the past that maybe you regret, or maybe you're too far in the future, so you're missing all of the present moment gifts in front of you. 6s can be on a shadow side, maybe a little too idealistic, so then you're missing out on the beautiful opportunities and the very real gifts in your life right now. I think 6s call for harmony in the present, harmony and balance for your present self in this moment right now. If you pull a 7, 7s are cards of contemplation. They want you to pause. They want you to think about it. 7 is traditionally a number of wisdom and spirituality and even mystery. They're asking you to not rush to make a decision, but wait to make a decision until everything feels clear. You feel ready and aligned for whatever choice you're making. When a 7 appears, you should trust the signs you're seeing and anything that feels like a reoccurrent synchronicity. It is a very mystical card, so 7 makes me think of Scorpio, like very like in touch with your magic. Psychic abilities can come through in 7 cards. The further interpretation of the cards has a lot more to do with what question is being asked and how that card pertains to that question. So there's a lot of flexibility, but these are the general energies that these cards and these numbers and these suits bring. And it's up to you and your own intuition to shape the message of the spread. The shadow of 7s is warning you of illusions, like maybe we're flying too close to the spiritual sun and we are missing some major real red flag. Why they want you to pause and make sure before you make a choice, you're making it because you're ready and it is right for you. 8s are cards of opportunities and learning, and I love me an 8. These are active cards. They are entrepreneurial. They want you to maximize on your opportunities and overcome any obstacles in your path. Some shadows to 8s is speculation and risk-taking. It's like a 50-50 shot. It's a risk, right? So it's either going to increase your assets or like you're moving so fast that you're going to skip over red flags. The 9s of the tarot deck are self-fulfillment, wish fulfillment cards. Specifically, 9 of Cups is wish fulfillment, but it's fulfillment cards. You have completed a cycle. You're reaping the reward. This is a card of independence and self-reliance and self-worth and just very close to your heart. And then the 10s are the completion cards. You've like gotten to the ends with the 9s. The 10s is the project has ended. You've reaped all the benefits, which also with every ending means a new beginning is going to be on the horizon. But for the moment, just relish in your completion. 10s are going to be successful completions of any long-term goals, long-term happiness that you've been working towards, maybe a fulfillment of your ambitions, of your passion. It is a time to clear the energies in your space of anything that is no longer going to be needed now that this phase has finished for you in your life. And you're shedding the old, so as the new begins to roll in, you're not burdened with lingering energies of the past. One activity I challenge you to do if you are interested in learning tarot is taking what you've learned at this point in the video and combining each number with each suit in the deck. So doing the Ace of Swords, Pentacles, Wands, and Cups, and combining and seeing what makes sense and what feels right for each card. Maybe you even pull out that card in your tarot deck to like merge with the imagery as you're writing out the meanings of each element mixed with each number that we've covered, and then seeing how you can interpret each card differently, even though, you know, it's the same suit as other cards and the same number as other cards, but how they have their own unique personalities as you go through the minor arcana. Up next, we are going to talk about the court cards. Think like a teen youth, not quite an adolescent, but they're not quite a child. They got that awkwardness of a kid still, but like lack the wisdom of a fully formed adult. It also could just be a sign of something emerging within the person asking the question. When I see a page reverse, it always makes me pause to question if the person the page is referring to is kind of playing more of like an intentional victim role. And by that, I mean deliberately acting helpless or stubborn or childish, maybe. You know, just think of anything. The shadows of a teenager is truly the shadows of a page or a princess. Like, it's the easiest way to embody both the strengths and the shadows, is just think teenage energy. Then you have the knights. The knights still hold some teen energy, but now we're probably in our older teens. We're probably closer to like nearly 20, still not a fully developed frontal lobe, but we have some life experience behind us. We've learned some lessons along the way. We have enthusiasm. We have the heart and the spirit of a traveler, of an adventurer. Maybe we're looking for something that will bring a fulfilling life change in the coming months. Knights also have a slower growing rate to them. A huge shadow of night can be selfishness and even a card of like a midlife crisis. Our queens obviously represent an older woman or feminine energy, a yin energy. They aren't necessarily like a mother, but they're someone who is very settled in their home base and their roots. The person the queen is referring to is probably very caring and very nurturing. It could represent an authority figure. The shadow of a queen is possessiveness and identifying your happiness in correlation to the happiness of others instead of it being from of self. And then last but not least, if you've made it this far, thank you so much. If you could like and share this video, I would greatly appreciate it. We have come to the last card in our minor arcana breakdown, and that is the king. So kings are old, they're very mature. Typically, they're going to have a masculine yang energy to them. This could represent a person or some kind of institution. This also could represent like a long-term love. Kings symbolize determination, success, and the power to achieve any particular goal. The shadows of a king is being inflexible, maybe pushing a specific dogma, stubbornness, being judgmental, and worst of all, a bully. So if you're getting the king reverse, those energies that are kind of lower vibrational to the higher vibrational interpretation, right? The most important thing I want to say is that as you go on your tarot journey, there are traditional ways to read all of these cards. I think there is such a beauty in tapping into your intuitive self and seeing what comes up for you when you're looking at your deck and your cards. I also think it's important that we understand the lineage and the history of the divination tools that we are consuming and using. So I hope to see you in our next video for the major arcana. At the time of our recording, which is currently May 4th, 2025, Jen and I have released are tickets for our free to be retreat in July. If you want more information about that, it will be linked below. And if you want to check out our Senseful Soul community, it is a $15 a month community where you have access to our private Discord, monthly live events, and a Senseful Soul library that's currently sitting at over 120 videos, and we add new content every week. You can pick and choose what parts of those you utilize, or you could utilize all of it. Either way, we'd love to see you in the community, and thank you so much for being here and just going along this journey in this path with us. We'll see you next time. Bye!